KTT Talks by Paula and Ricardo ALC. Let's talk about Kizomba. Hello everybody, my name is Ricardo.
My name is Paula.
We are here at our KTT Talks, that is a podcast that we do every week, inviting students from the KTT program, the Kizomba Teachers Training, and also some fellows from our Kizomba community to talk about what it takes to have a structure to teach, to understand what are the pains that are more in the different countries when you need to start to construct a community, to construct a group of students, what are the wheels. And here we have today our dear friend David Habib. He attended our teachers training in Germany, in Berlin, during the Berlin Salsa Congress. And long time that we don't talk, and we are very curious to know more about him. How are you, David?
I'm very good, thank you. And I was just watching you guys in the first lesson as well.
Oh, nice.
And you guys, I couldn't watch the whole thing now, but I watched a little. And even if it's the same topic, you always have a way to explain it in a new way, in a different way, and more interesting every time. You guys are like
thank you,
the best teachers.
Oh,
thank you very much for your feedback. But let's start talking about you first. So if you need to tell somebody who is David, what you would tell?
Okay, so I live in Lebanon and I am 27 years old now. And I'm a civil engineer, actually. I work in civil engineering and I also teach dance. I've been teaching for about 5 years now. And
what
I don't think
dance you teach?
I teach salsa, bachata, and kizomba, and I'm starting to get into Afro now. It's like my new, my new hobby.
Journey. So when you were young, do you remember what was your dream job?
When I was, when you were a kid and then you're the first kid in the family and then the parents start dreaming and then whatever they say will affect what you think. So I've always thought I wanted to be a doctor, but thank God I did not become a doctor because I like biology, but I think if I was a doctor, I could not have went through this dancing journey that I did. And I discovered later that this is what I'm very passionate about. And this is what I like. And even more than dancing, I like teaching. So if I was a doctor, I would never have done that. So I chose another path and I did engineering instead. But
is it something that you also like, the engineering, or it was because you needed to take a career?
Well, if anybody from work or from my family is listening to this now, they will kill me. But it's not, as you said, it's not my dream job. It's not where I see myself as a person, and I like arts more. I'm also a musician. I play a little bit of piano and I sing with an a cappella group. So I see myself more. Yeah, so I see myself in the arts division more than engineering. But I like what I do also in engineering. It's good.
And how the dance get into your life?
Well, I did not start dancing at a very young age because here in Lebanon, it's not really something very famous, and especially for guys, it's hard for guys to be motivated to go dance. So I had to wait till I went to college, to university. And it was very funny actually, because I was looking for hip hop classes first, and then we did not have a hip hop club in the university where I went.
Was that?
I was 17, 18.
Okay.
So like 10 years ago.
So you were searching for hip hop first.
Yeah, because I thought I liked that style. And then there's a stand of.
But was it a natural call, or you were inspired by something?
I think it was more natural, because every time I watched people dance, I could feel the happiness, and I wanted that for myself as well. And I always loved the music, so I enjoyed every single style of music as well. So I wanted to learn something so I can have background of vocabulary to dance on different styles of dancing. And I was walking. We have something called Clubs Day, where all of the clubs put stands, and then someone did a flash mob. The teachers that teach Latin in the university, they did like a small flash mob, and I saw, and I was like, okay, I want to go ask. And I was asking for hip hop as well, but then they say there is no hip hop, but come, it's you meet. It was my first year in university. They encourage you to come. You meet new people. You socialize. You meet new girls, and it's only 10 Lebanese lira, 10,000 Lebanese liras, which is really nothing. So
yeah,
they had me at that. So and they even say you don't
when
have
they
to
talk
pay
about
first
the girls,
lesson.
immediately you were there.
And the money,
And
the money most of all. So I went there, and all it took was one session, and I was there. I discovered that I was able to just learn by observing, and I had this natural talent that I can imitate someone directly. So I the teacher and the there's 7 members that take care of the club. They all were coming to me and saying, "Oh, you never danced before? That's really good, and you learned fast." And then I was in love, and I never skipped one session.
You realize that there is a word called marketing. That I'm joking with you.
That's true. That's true. And then the next year, I even ran for president for the club, and I became the president for the club.
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Proactive.
But it was just first, it was just Latin dances and social dances, and then I had to wait till I graduated to start discovering the scene in the country, which is small. It's not very big, but that was when it started, and I found out that I had to continue this side of my life because it was the one that was making me feel alive more than engineering.
And Kizomba, when appeared Kizomba in your life?
Well, if I'm continuing the story, after I graduated, I was looking for a school to continue learning, and I'm a very technical person, and I'm very picky. So I did not just decide or even ask. I had to go, and I took classes in many places, and then I picked the school that I'm now teaching at, which is called Dance and Attitude. And I was learning more salsa on 2, mambo, and then I started to listen to Kizomba music in the parties, and I think I had no idea what it was, or even it was called Kizomba, and I was in love with the music. And first, I think everybody first danced bachata on Kizomba music.
Please say to me that it was not like a bad bachata with a hip up.
No, more shy.
Okay.
And
you know that then, some friends, bachatero friends, that says that Kizomba, it's just one side bachata. As you just touch with your left, when you do the basic, as you have just 3 basic. No, in a joking way, they say it's a one-side bachata. The basic of
one-sided bachata. That's interesting. Yeah, and so I was starting to look it up and research on the internet and watching videos, and I was also learning by watching. And thankfully, that the school that I was in, the teachers in the school that I was in for me, I think they're the best, and they have the best spirits, and they encourage the students because they saw that I was getting into it, and they saw that I was improving by myself just by already watching, and they offered me the opportunity of learning more and going to a festival and taking private classes to come and teach this style of dance in the dance school. And they were the first people who gave me a private class when we had Kizomba artists come to Lebanon in the festival. And I started there, and then I had never taught dance before, so it was horrible at the beginning. But then with practice, I was able to, because I went to a lot of festival in these 2 years where I started teaching. So I was learning not just what the dance is, but how to teach. So you are in the class and you're trying to listen to what the guy is saying, what the girl is saying, and also learning the step, but noticing how the environment is in the class so you can become that person later.
Can
And
you please tell me
sometimes,
the name of the owners of the school?
yeah, of course, they're called Ishaya and Penelope.
Israel and Penelope. I
So
can see that they have amazing mindset, and the,
they
the the
really do.
work the work that they made with you, and for sure with many people, creating a person that it will take also part of the process of growing of the dance community on your local area, growing with the perfect mindset of sharing, of learning, not creating like stupid competition, and being
Yeah,
able to be the ones to show the world. I'm telling you this because this was the main reason that we left the place where we start, that gave us so much, but they wanted to create like a barrier around us. And
yeah,
maybe, and it was good that had happened. Otherwise, we would not be able to go out and
exactly.
create what we create. But I can imagine that if they had this kind of thinking, we would be able to help that company to grow even more. And I'm seeing
Exactly.
that you are in the scene that you like where you are, you feel comfortable, and that is
Yeah,
only
yeah,
because the persons that are in front of that business and that project have a beautiful mindset. So thank you very much for
exactly.
Penelope and Isaias for having that, and for you for being humble enough to don't forget from where you come from, and don't
Of
allow your
course.
ego to go bigger than your hair,
Never.
because you have a long hair. You still have? You still
Yes,
have
now I
long
have
hair?
blonde long
Yes.
hair.
And you are blonde.
Yeah, now I made highlights.
Sorry, interruption. So just let me
No,
know.
yeah, that's
You learn about Kizomba. You start falling in love. You start learning, and when it starts appearing, the call to want to teach, it was also an invitation, or was something that you suggest?
well, teaching in general was something that I really liked to do because I already was helping a lot of my colleagues in school and then in university, and I was tutoring, and I felt like I was happy to help someone understand something, and I had the mindset of kind of understanding how their mind goes from one idea to another and help them get to understanding something. So teaching was always something that I liked to do. And I wasn't the person who initiated it. It was Ishaya and Penelope. But when they did, I was stressed out because I did not really know what Kizomba was at the beginning. And then I said, I would love to start teaching something that I like to do as well. And I started taking, like I told you, a lot of workshops and many festivals in Europe and in Lebanon and Turkey. And I first at the beginning, because the social scene in Lebanon is not really. I mean, I was very lucky to find Ishaya and Penelope, but it feels like the rest were not encouraging at all. It's a small community, but so it's divided a lot. So I was kind of, I don't want to say pushed back because I didn't listen, but you have negative energy and negative vibes from a lot of different people because you are a beginner and they don't think that now you are ready to teach.
Yeah.
But I knew that I was not gonna stop until I really know everything before I teach, before I taught.
Just
And
let me stop you there, and then you continue, because
yeah,
this kind of talk, it's also to try to inspire the people that are listening to us, that they can connect in some points of their life, that they can be at this moment and having the same difficulties and pains that you had, that we had. And here we have a big learn. When you have somebody criticizing yourself, what you are trying to do, you have two options: or you listen to that and you allow that to interfere and frustrate you and to stop, or you can use that as a fuel to be able to learn more
exactly.
and to be alert. Because when somebody says that, you should not bring your ego up and say, I will become better to show you how it is. No, it's something
No,
that
no, no.
maybe somehow we can have reason. So I will do my best to make sure that this will not happen, and I will bring a lot of tools to myself that will allow me to go to the next step. And good that once again you had this beautiful mindset. and I want to congratulate publicly in front of all our audience.
Thank you so much. It's a big honor to have you guys tell me that. And I that's what I did. I did not listen to anyone, and I pursued my journey, and I knew that I was just at the beginning of it, and I would not let anyone stand in my way. And even it was hard for me because I work 6 days a week. So when I had to travel to a festival, I had to always be aware that they don't need me. They don't really need me during this weekend at work, and I can take some days off to travel somewhere else to learn, and then come back. And I was doing that for 2 years, me and my previous partner back then. And I actually was I heard about you guys, and I followed you guys on social media, and I knew that right away that if I followed this path that you guys are on, then I'm going to be successful. And this was also a great decision that I make, and I'm so happy that I found you guys. And I was lucky enough to have your brother Bruno come to Lebanon Latin Festival, I think in 2017 or 2016, I don't remember. And I saw it was ALC, and I was excited to meet you, but then they were there, and I took all of the workshops with them. And yeah, the move that was running in my, when you do the 8 with your hips together.
Manipula.
Manipula.
Oh, what do you call it?
We call it manipula.
Or snake.
Manipula.
Snake.
Okay, yeah, this was like the move that pushed me to go and and attend all of the workshops, hoping that he was going to give that in the workshop, and he did, and I learned it. I was so happy. And yeah, and then I was very lucky to find you guys in Berlin during the time that I could travel. So, and I remember it was a very
Short.
condensed.
Yeah.
It was very condensed, and I thought that we were only going to do one, but then you said you're giving the two levels right after each other. So I went there, and it was the best travel experience and the dancing experience that I had. So I went a person, I came back a completely other person.
So good.
And
at that time, were you already teaching at that time?
Yeah, I had started for like a year or so. Mm-hmm. And because we had already had so many festivals that we went through, and so many private classes with so many famous artists. But you were
teaching like workshops or already regular lessons, weekly lessons?
Regular classes, but as I said, it wasn't very successful at first.
No problem. That's the way.
Yeah,
we need to do the mistakes in order that we can learn.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I'm always very interested on the process and the needs. So you were starting your groups of students in Lebanon.
Yeah.
It appeared an opportunity to learn more with us. But before you take that chance, what were your biggest pains? So what your biggest difficulties in order to teach Kizomba? What were the things that you were feeling the need and you were not being able to find anywhere?
Well, I think there were two very important things, because first, I wasn't a dance teacher. This was my first experience teaching ever. And it's different to have someone, like if you're teaching math or science or biology to someone, it's completely different to have a full class of students that you have to be in control of and help and start the class somewhere and try to take them somewhere else by the end of the class. So I was there, but I felt like I had a million ideas going through my mind. Are they bored? Are they excited? Are they happy with the class? Do I have to bring my volume up, bring my volume down? Do I have to put more music? So I went through all of this, and I was stressed out at the beginning, and I had the help of Haya and Penelope, because they knew that I was starting, and they were there, and they also were watching the first couple of classes, and they were giving me comments after the classes. And this is how it started. But this was one difficulty, and the other was because I never really had anyone to explain to me what Kizomba really is and how it's really divided, and all the techniques and all of the community and the culture behind it. I had no idea what it was, so it always felt like there was something missing. Even when I'm teaching a step that I know how it's done, if somebody asks why we don't do it another way, I don't have the answer for this, because I only know this way.
Yeah.
So going to different people to take private classes is good, because it gives you a lot of information of how you can teach maybe the same thing from different angles, but also it can confuse you, because every single person has a style and has his background in the dance. So I had to always bring the common things together to kind of understand everything. But then I met you guys, and then
What
everything
was
was
the
clear.
biggest transformation? I think just before this,
Penelope.
Penelope that is here, Simon, is the one that you were talking about.
Yes.
So big kiss to Penelope.
Kisses, Penelope,
Yes.
and
We all-
thank you for your kindness. You are being very kind in your comments. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And you are lucky of having a person like David, and David is very
Oh,
lucky to have
thank you.
mentors like you. And it's a dance partner, it's a husband, what it is?
Uh,
Isaiah?
they are married, yes.
Okay, and your husband made a wonderful job in the construction of this amazing professional. So we were talking about, so you had that difficulties, you went to Berlin and you had the chance to attend the KTT, although it was like a condensed format of level 1 and level 2. But we make sure that we deliver the most important things in order that you can get what it takes from of course, didn't went to so much detail in other subjects, mainly the part that was to develop as individual dancer, that we always implement in the trainings. But this training was much more directed only to the practical part of being an instructor. So what was the biggest transformation for you?
Yeah, but still, I had so many things that were missing, and I had answers to all of them. So even if it was condensed, I was able to get everything I needed, and also ask. We had enough time to ask a few questions and get answers from you guys. And the first thing that you guys did was start the training with history, and that is the big part that's missing. That was for me especially, and also in the country, because in my country nobody really knew what this dance was about, and only a few researches online were made. So, and not many schools were teaching. Maybe one or two were only teaching before I started, and I could not get the answers that I needed from them. So the first part, you already had me hooked when you started with this, and you explained the history and the culture, and then the music, and then the different styles of music. And because I'm a musician, I was able to hear everything and understand what you were saying. And then the technical part was like my language, because this is what I like. I like to pick the tiny details, and I like to explain everything before I am comfortable that I did a good job. I have to say everything. So, and you also explained even the smallest basic, how you were supposed to say it, and then how the people are going to react. And I think it was the technical and the communicating everything with the students and holding up a class. This was very nice. And then you challenged us to give each other a class.
A 5-minute lesson.
Yeah.
The painful 5-minute lesson.
It was good. It was a very good challenge with the stress, and there's you guys, and there's a lot of other teachers from all over the world. But it was a very fun experience.
You know that being out of our comfort zone is the place that we need to be in order to improve. And it's beautiful to see that in these kind of situations, that some instructors are already very experienced, and when they get to this specific situation, their legs shake like babies. And it's normal. And when you place yourself,
I remember.
I have another question. Did your students felt any difference before the KTT and after the KTT? Did you felt this kind of feedback in somehow?
Well, of course. I had well, at the beginning, I only had one class, one regular class going weekly. And I had tried to make a system of my own and follow it. But because it's your first class, so it's your first trial. So you make mistakes, but then you note them, and then you know you're not supposed to do them again. But I told everyone that I was going to do that. And then when I came back, they knew that now I had so much more information. So I did a small workshop to share with everybody what I learned about the culture, about the history, about the music, and everybody. And I was happy that a lot of them were interested and not just wanted to learn the steps, because they this is the mentality kind of that they had in the country. We just go learn the steps, and we try to meet people and dance and social nights, and then we go home. So I was happy that I had this interaction. And then I could not just, because I had already started, I could not cut and suddenly move to this new style of teaching. So
Of course.
I tried to incorporate what movements and what technical parts and everything while I was going through that. So they did feel a big difference, but the huge one was when I opened a new class, because then I had all of this background and even my experience and you guys' experience, and it was, for me, it was a huge difference. So of course for everyone else it was a huge difference as well. And
So good.
Yeah, but
and
you didn't.
the more classes I open,
Yeah,
that I
but
had
you
more
then
people
you
interested
just
because of that.
okay. Then you just adapt to our methodology. You didn't use in the
100%.
100% of our methodology.
Yeah, for the class that was ongoing, I tried to incorporate, so I wasn't following exactly how it was, but then but then all the other classes that I open, I used, I can't say 100% everything, because there's like the beginning part, the afro or the small dance that you do at the beginning, for example, they
The
weren't
warm-ups.
really enjoying it. I felt like it's not what they wanted, so I had to
Yeah.
sometimes do it, sometimes not, and then it faded away. And then also sometimes, like for example, you give two different sequences in 1 hour. Also, it's not possible for everybody, because sometimes you feel one is already enough, and they can't do anymore. So
Yeah.
I also had to kind of switch around, and because I was better at understanding them, because I now I know from the KTT that you have to always pay attention to individuals and how they are in class to know how you can proceed with whatever you're doing. Sometimes you plan something, but you cannot give everything you plan in the class. You have to postpone to another hour, or sometimes you have to have backup because they are very quick and they're following you. So I think this is how it's supposed to happen with everyone, because with different cultures, with different backgrounds, with different people, you have to be
No,
ready
but
to
I need to
adjust.
congratulate you, because that understanding that you have, unfortunately, is not the understanding of a lot of very known instructors. And I'm placing you in this situation that we share the same information for everybody that is on the training, but not everybody has that ability of collecting the information in that way, and after to create the maturity that you need, because a lot of things, it's like you spoke about being a civil engineering. You spend 5 or 6 years of your life studying about that very hard and very deep, but when you finish your course, your university, and you arrive to the real world, you are not ready to construct a house alone.
That's
you
true.
need to spend the
100%.
process You need to spend the process of testing, of being on real life, applying the tools and the concepts that you learn, in order that one day you will have your individual project. So becoming a dance teacher is the same thing. So the KTT brings you like, it's like a university that gives you the tools that you need to develop your own things. And after, you need to have the experience, the testing, to understand faster and faster what are the needs of the students, because this is something that it takes time to read the students' needs. And sometimes we place ourselves in a position that we try to guess what they want, and we are the ones that influence the students to do what we think that they want. For
Yes, that
example,
is so true.
talking about the history, talking about the technique, because we
Yeah,
think that they might be bored if we talk about that. But quality communication will entertain anybody. It's this, like this idea, a lesson of 1 hour can be very boring, or in other hand, a 2 hours lesson can be very enthusiastic, and the 5 minutes lesson can be very boring. So what
that's
makes the
true.
interest of the lesson, it's not the duration, the timing, but
At the
yes, the
content.
quality. It's like a movie. For sure, you saw some movies with 1 hour
Yeah,
or 40 minutes that, oh my God, this never finished, that never see the
exactly.
end. And then after, you can see a 3 hours movie and you stay there without going to the toilet and say, oh, we finished now, I just want more. So it's
Yeah,
all about that. So we have our time limit. Today, it's like a marathon. I'm so
yeah.
pleased that
I
we contact you to talk about this. I have two more questions. First,
Yeah,
and this is important to understand, that because of the different realities, different economics, different politics, and all this stuff, you made an investment to attend the KTT. Investment of money,
yeah,
because you need to travel, you need to pay staying, your meals, and also the course payment. And we will not talk about your investment of time, okay? Because for me, the investment of time, it's much more valuable than the money investment. Money, of course, it's important, it's difficult to get, and we
yeah,
need it. But time, it's the biggest and the most expensive asset that we have. And that's why we do the KTT, because it will make you save time. And when you save
yeah.
time, you save a lot of money. So
That's
when
true.
you look for the effective investment in money that you made,
Yeah.
how long do you think that it took to recover that investment? Do you have this
Uh,
idea?
well, well, that's funny story. First I thought that the amount that you had placed for one of them was actually for both. So I thought that it was just this amount that we pay and we get the two levels. But then when we were there, we discovered that no, this is the amount for the first, and then you have to pay the same amount for the second one. And when I was faced with that decision, I did not even think twice. I was like, I took the first one, and I'm learning so much, and I will maybe not get another chance to travel and see them later. I'm gonna pay, and I'm gonna do the second one. And I did not really think that this how am I going to get that investment back, because I knew that even if I was not going to continue teaching as a dancer, as a social dancer, I already had so many improvements on so many levels from taking the KTT week or 4 days that we did. So I don't know precisely how long it took, but because also we have different rates,
Yeah.
but I'm very sure that it was I had them all back in maybe 1 year or so, or maybe less. I don't know, but I know that it helped me because I opened 2 or 3 other classes in that same year because I was more confident. I was a better teacher. I was a better dancer. I had more knowledge. So I had one class, and then I had suddenly 2 or 3 more, and I was managing a bigger community and trying to build this good Kizomba community in the country that was not there. So I think I was one of the pioneers to do that because I had this opportunity to know how to do that, to know how to start that, because I took
So
the
good.
KTT with you guys. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that sharing. This is always important for us because, of course, there is a business behind this, and it's our
Yeah,
profession. We pay our bills with that, and I think it's worth it for the amount of work that we have to prepare, to study, the
definitely.
years, the the amount of things that we needed to do in order that we live our profession. And because we also believe
And
that
also,
when you
I
pay
I
for
have to,
something, you commit
yeah,
more. When
yeah,
you pay for
that's also
something,
true.
you commit much more. And
That's also true.
for us, it's
And
important that the impact that we have on you as a student make the difference on the impact that you will have after on your own students. So it's important for us that you take it seriously, because in somehow you are spreading our word also. So
yeah,
this kind of snowball effect, it's very important
hmm
for us. And we really want that if you can collect the investment in 1 month, for us, even better. And if you earn a lot of money alone after that, perfect for us, because it means that our job is done and you are able to move on with that. And for us,
Definitely.
it's perfect.
A lot of my students know Portuguese words now because of you guys.
So beautiful.
They
So
know
beautiful.
the names of a lot of routines and combinations, because I I found also this was very smart, because sometimes when you call a big sequence one name, it's a lot easier for them, and because then you have to explain left foot, forward, back, then virgule. Yeah.
You see, you got it. Good.
Yeah,
So we are
definitely.
going now to the final round, and something more personal for you. We want to know,
Okay.
because we follow this metaphor of the ladder of dance, or the ladder of success, and we consider that we have 3 ladders in our life. The personal ladder, that we deal with the relationship with others, with the love of your life, with your family, whatever. And the ladder of I, that is your individual growing, your self-improvement, and also the professional ladder. You have 2 different professional ladders, of course, but inside of the, let's call the ladder of dance, thinking
Yeah.
about having a ladder, that metaphor, the stages, what would be your top of ladder? What is your big dream inside of dance? Did you thought about that?
Uh, you know, this big dream has changed a lot with the years, because first I had 2 jobs, so I tried to maybe imagine how I can combine them and make a big dream out of both. And the best thing I could imagine maybe was building a big arts, uh, huge arts building, and having a lot of maybe music, dance, everything. In the project that I'm going to do. But then also music and singing came into my life. So maybe I was thinking maybe I can become a singer and a dancer at the same time. So I'm still not sure exactly where this path is going to take me, but I am 100% sure that dance will always be part of it. And because I love teaching so much, I love performing as well. But for me, if I compare, for me, teaching is way more important. So I hope that someday I will be able to also continue your legacy, and keep teaching and making the Kizomba community in the world even bigger. And I have to tell you guys that not everyone would do what you guys are doing, because some people, they know this information, they want to keep it for themselves, and they don't want anybody to know, and they want to be the only people who share it. And we have a lot of this mentality in Lebanon. Some people, even over music, over one song, you ask this person, what's that song that you play, and they say, I'm not going to tell you, because then you will play it later in your classes or in your social nights. So what you guys are doing is what I feel like I love doing as well, is sharing everything I know to make this beautiful dance grow and the community grow in the world. And I was actually maybe starting in that journey last year, when I was invited to do a festival in Armenia, but then COVID was in the
It's just
way.
a
So
postpone. Just a
yeah,
postpone.
So hopefully I will
Just
be able to
let me
continue.
have
Yeah.
you some here, a little bit more philosophic maybe, but it makes a lot of sense, and we proved we are managed by universal laws, and you don't need to believe in stuff. You just need to try it, and it's a scientific proof. And one of the laws of the universal laws is the compensation law. I don't know if this is correct word in English, but the
Okay.
compensation law. There is a guy that wrote that is called Emerson. And this is basically that you will collect what you seed. Okay, so everything that you will give, you will return back. Some
Yeah.
people call it karma, some people call it law
Yeah.
of attraction, whatever. So as much as you give, as more you will get. And mainly if you don't do it with this idea of what you will collect after. If you just do it because you like you are saying, to share with others and to make a positive impact in people's lives. So that's why the mission is very important. And I don't know which God, universe, or whatever, we have
Yeah.
this, I like to call it our little star. We have a little star that enlights our way in a lot of different moments. And this little star told us since the beginning that we would define our mission, that we would know why we do what we are doing. And nothing wrong with the answer. It just needs to be a honest answer. So you already said some things, but you are still, maybe by the age, I don't know, you are still very young and you are still in the discovery moment. But, and
Yeah.
nothing wrong of changing the top of your ladder. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong of changing your dreams. But
Hmm.
we consider that is important to have specific dreams, because as much specific is your dream, easier it's to materialize it and to get
Yeah.
there. So if your big dream, even if you think that can be very complicated to get there one day, doesn't matter. If your big dream is to construct an art center where you will combine stages and lessons
Go, David. Go,
with
David.
music,
Go, David.
with teaching of music, teaching of singing, teaching of dancing, creating musicals, creating productions, working with international artists that go there. If that is your dream,
Go
dream
for
it, but dream it with numbers, with colors, with sizes, with measures. Like you are an engineer, you know how to do it.
Yeah.
So how many square meters it will have, which color will be the front head, what will be the name of that, how many rooms, what will be the color of the tissue of the stage. So I'm honest. Draw
Yeah,
it
yeah,
in
that's
your mind
beautiful.
and pass it to the paper and keep it in a place that only you have access. Okay, and write it down with the time. With the time, you will construct. For sure, you heard the story about Walt Disney. So Walt Disney,
Yeah.
when the Disney World was inaugurated, Walt Disney was already dead, and there was a friend of the family that told to the wife of Walt Disney,
Do it though.
"It's a pity that he's not here to see what he constructs." And
Yeah.
he said, "Sorry, you are wrong. It's precisely because he saw it that today me and I have this possibility of watching it." So that said, that we need to construct everything in your brain in order that we can get the results. So don't have afraid of dream small. People like you can really make the difference, and we can change the world, even if it is in our street or in our room or in our home. And if we change the people's life, one person's life, we are already changing a lot. But people like you that have big dreams, don't block them. And like you made at the beginning,
Please don't.
that you didn't allow others saying that you should not teach, and you are making the difference. And you have beautiful people saying here that it's a blessed having you in their lives, in order that you are sharing your passion and they feel that in an impact on their personal life. If you allow yourself to think, but dreaming with numbers in details, like somebody was saying here,
Dream in
Jessica,
detail,
Yeah.
in details, and think writing. Don't allow to think only and stay there. Write down,
Mhm.
point it, and the law of attraction, the law of compensation will appear. You will start meeting people. We start Afro Latin Connection 2005, and we had the dream of a place that would combine different floor. And I'm honest to you, we have this written. I found that papers a few months ago. We wanted a
Wow.
building with different floors, with different
Yeah.
rooms, with different disciplines of dance, having kids learning how to dance, ballet, hip hop, tango, all the different styles, to have our own stage, to create our own productions. And this was in 2005 when we started Afro Latin Connection. 2010, we opened our dream. So only 5 years were what it takes to get our dream. And this was only possible because we had our little stars, of course, but we were with attention to the light that they were pointing to. And we had people around us that appear in our life in certain points, and we were with attention. And because our system, our brain system, just work in a way that is so interesting. If you have interest in that, study about your brain, and you will realize that your brain will show you and will give you attention to the things that you feed your subconscious. When you don't feed your subconscious, your brain don't allow you to watch things that are there in front of you. Good. So I have this challenge for you. Think about that project, that you don't need to do it alone. You have an amazing people around you that can help you.
People that love you. You
People
can
that
see
love you, and they can be an amazing complement to the project that you already make part.
Yeah.
Don't need to be something else. But try to think more about that, and promise me that you will start writing down that at least in your pillow, okay? In your pillow, and after you pass your paper. And you don't need to share it with nobody. Just go with the flow and allow it to happen.
Maybe the name, it will be nice. Maybe if you think about the name, is a beginning. and you put the name. You
No, you
mark
don't need to
ourselves.
share.
No, the name, no. But think about that.
I just would like that at least tomorrow you will take a picture and you do a story, because stories 24 hours go away. Okay. And you
Yeah.
take a picture with a paper and a pen and your name written. That way,
Okay.
we know that you already made the first step, because this is the most difficult. The most difficult part is to sit your bunda on a chair,
Yeah.
pick up a paper,
And
pick up a pen. After that, everything will be easier. Okay?
Mm.
And please do that in the next 24 hours. Take a picture, post
Okay.
on Instagram, tag us in order that
You
you
will not sleep, Penelope.
in order that we know that you are on the path. Okay?
All right. I
David,
will do that.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Just to finish, because we need to teach now in 10 minutes and I need to eat something, otherwise I will fall. Please leave a message in two ways. First, to somebody that might be undecided to take this investment on the KTT, what would be your advice in a short term? And after a message to the audience and for the beautiful people that are here listening to us.
I would like to say that for me, it was the best experience in my whole dancing history to take the KTT, and you guys are, even if they were maybe the same program with other people, I think you guys are the perfect fit to even transmit that information, because people who can learn by watching are maybe half of everybody, but half of the other teachers learn by with technique, with counting, with numbers, and you guys have a beautiful combination of both. You show us what we need to see, and you tell us everything in details and in techniques, so everybody can learn, which is the best thing, and we learn how to do that. So it's how much the investment was, I would have done it, and I would tell everyone that they should do it, definitely. And if anyone wants to learn about what Kizomba is, because sometimes people come to you and take this and they don't know what it is and they want to start their Kizomba journey, it's everything in one training. It's you can understand what Kizomba is, where it comes from, and then how to teach it. And what was the second question?
Message for the audience.
A message for the audience. I am so lucky and honored to do this now KTT talk with you guys, because you were my influence back when I started, and I still remember that you guys sent me a happy birthday video when one of my students came to your workshop. She said, "Oh, my teacher loves you, and it would be nice if you guys would film a happy birthday for him." And she sent me this, and I posted it. I was super happy. So I'm very honored to have this conversation with you, and I think I have so many of my students and my friends who are watching this right now, and I'm so happy that they give me the support, and they motivate me to even become a better teacher and dancer, and keep going forward.
So beautiful.
Dancing is
so much.
is
I wish
everything.
you all the best, that you conquer the world, that you change
For
your
sure.
world around you, and for sure it will happen. Last invitation for those that are here that are not registered in our free KTT Intensive Week. It's happening this week. Today we made the first lesson live. Just go to our bio. We have there a link to registration. Do your free registration, access to all the content, and hope to see you soon, all in a dance floor, to be able to dance and to hug and to touch. For now, it's just by distance.
We
Thank
need
you.
this as soon as possible.
And thank you to all that were here listening. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.